So I wanted to demonstrate it for you. And what does that mean to demonstrate it? Well, there's ways that the body and the emotions, the muscles, the blood, the bones, the intelligence, there's a way that all of those interact together that demonstrate knowing thyself, that demonstrate a bodily awareness of knowing thyself. And it's very simple. I'm just being that and doing that in my conversation with you, in my interaction with you. So that the depth of my breath becomes the depth of your breath. So that the depth of the feeling state of my body becomes the depth of the feeling state of your body. So that what there is to be recognized deep within, which includes everything that you understand, see, feel, and can see, what there is to be recognized deep within is the very one essence that is dreaming this dream. And it's none other than you. I don't know why that is. I don't know why just being in the body and not being at war with emotions and mind, I don't know why that's turned into such a big prize. It just seems very strange to me that human beings aren't just naturally in touch with that. Like evolution went wrong. Evolution went down this road that led to this sense of human beings feeling separated, feeling divided, feeling isolated from not only each other human beings, but fundamentally from themselves. They aren't even comfortable in their own bodies. So I find it very strange that evolution decided to go down this path. I mean, wouldn't it make more sense for human beings just to evolve into a state that is knowing thyself, that would just evolve into a state of being comfortable in the body, being okay in the body, being aware in the body? Been a lot easier, and it seems like that would have more benefit for the species than the other route. So, yeah. But this is what we have to work with, is a broken version of, a broken version of humanity. This is what we are dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why it's important to speak these things from the point of view, from the demonstrated point of view of what not being at war with oneself looks like, feels like, sounds like. And myself and many other individuals right now are expressing this, are sharing this, are giving this, so that hopefully humanity at large returns to this more natural state of just being in the body, being okay with mind, being okay with emotions, and really knowing what the beautiful substance of the underlying essence of a human being is. What the beautiful, mysterious, empty substance. The beautiful, mysterious, empty, witnessing, watching, perceiving, aware aspect of ourselves. And it's not an aspect. It's not like, oh, that's just one small part. No, what I'm pointing to is the thing that makes up all of the parts. It's the one thing which all of the parts are taking place in. And when we can realize this one thing that all the parts are taking place in, there's no more parts, there's no more separation, there's no more isolation. There's this recognition that you are everything, that you're okay. You know, all these words, all this bickering, all these are just fancy terms for just being okay, for just simply being okay. So this video kind of came out of a set of videos I'll call that all have the word non-duality in the title. And the individuals who are interested in non-duality, I both have an affinity for and a sorrow for. And I'm speaking, if you're listening, if you're watching right now, I'm speaking to you. I have an affinity, of course, because this is what I share and have in common with you, is that I too hung out with non-dual awakening teachers, many of them. So I share that with you, and I too was, if you've come this far along, interested in reading and watching and being with these individuals. So I have as I said, an affinity for people who are interested in non-duality for that reason. And then I feel sorry, and I feel frustrated and sad that it seems to be that many of you who are interested in non-duality are frankly not getting it. And right there, I'm going to catch you. Right there. See, right there in that moment is where your head just started. Where your head just started. Where you wanted to argue this and argue that, and have an opinion about this, have an opinion about that. Stop. It's not at that level. Non-dual realization is not at that level. And I can see that many of you are caught at this level because I can see all of the endless bickering and commentary that you guys generate. It's probably, a Bhagavad Gita's worth of mind crap in comment sections below videos, primarily. Probably in comment sections on, places like Reddit and whatever. So in that regard, I feel bad because I can see, I can feel, I can sense that you're stuck in a mental world about non-duality, but you're nowhere near the actual bodily feeling state of non-duality. Hey, I'm just conveying to you that I feel you, brother, sister. I feel you. And let's get you out of that. And the way that we do that, again, is we stop whatever your mental arguments are. We set those down, you see, because what you're afraid of, what you're really fearing is being in this wounded body, is being in this body that was judged, this body that was hated, this body that was not seen, not loved, not held. You're afraid of being in that body. And that's the only way that we can come to a healthy non-dual realization, is that we go through the flawed body, we meet the flawed heart, and we live with that, with the failure of that, the pain of that, the shadow of that. We embrace all of that. It's a wound. And we embrace it and we love it. And then we live as that. We don't live separate from that. We don't live in some isolated, no story, psychotic state that's an unemotional and dry existence. That's not what non-duality is. That's not what. Okay, I'll rephrase that. That's not what being a human being and being okay and having a heart is. So that's what I advocate. That we love our stories, actually. That we are okay with ego and with personality and with the individual. Okay with it. You hear me? Okay with it. Love it. We're okay with it. And by that invitation to be okay with all those flawed things, you see, which generally speaking, non-duality pushes away so much. By inviting all those things in, by dropping into the wounded body, we experience something very, very different, a very balanced and humble and soft sense of who we are and what reality is. And then it becomes real. Then one speaks as I am doing right now, from the recognition of what non-duality points to. The recognition of simply knowing who I am. And yeah, I know, right? There's lots of pauses. That's what I'm critical of. That one video that I have is basically, so many awakening teachers, you see, only display this side, the side that I am displaying right now, that I am demonstrating right now. They only display this side, this deep archetypal, animalistic dropping into the moment, where there are many pregnant pauses, deep breaths, noticing of the one primal being and body. They only demonstrate that. And that's not the whole truth, you see, because this particular state, this deep, awakened, knowing thyself state is only a certain manifestation of knowing thyself. It's not the whole truth. I'm not in this sublime, natural, dropped in space all the time. I can't be. I'll come out, I'll be more head-oriented. My ego will pull forward, and I'll have a more separative feeling state about me, so that you wouldn't recognize or have any notion whatsoever that that person right there had access to a whole other state. You wouldn't know that. So see, this is what these teachers are falsely promoting, is that this state is constant, when it's not. Ego returns. Nothing wrong with ego. I got no problem with fucking ego. None. I need ego. It's a tool. And it works beautifully. When it's not in control. When it plays second fiddle. So yeah, that's where that video came from, is this sense that there's many teachers out there who, innocently enough, are promoting a kind of a false quality about awakening, about knowing thyself, about just being okay. It's all good, in ultimate sense, no big deal. Just one of the things that we're stepping through collectively and figuring out together. And a part of that is just getting it all mixed up and crazy, and but we're all in the same room, generally speaking, which is why I kind of like chuckle and just laugh to myself that I'm in the room as well somehow, with those who are interested in non-duality. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, just come on. Can we just think about this one particular thing here? You became a black sheep, right? In order to even understand or comprehend or having even the slightest desire to know what non-duality is about or spiritual awakening is about. You became a black sheep. Okay, hold on to your thoughts here. Here we are. So now you're in this room with a whole bunch of non-duality sheep, and you look just like the rest of them, my friend. So do you see what I'm saying? If you want to escape this room of non-duality, if you want to push beyond it, you have to become another black sheep. You have to become another black sheep. And staying in that room and arguing and talking and bickering and commenting and thinking about it is not the way. You will remain a sheep that looks like all the rest. Thinking about it, ruminating about it, being philosophically smart and intellectual about it, that's a load of bullshit. The truth lies in the messy, emotional, energetic, psychic body. It lies in the heart, not in the head. So, and in this space, in the heart space, there's nothing but a hug and a fist bump and a smile. Shall I repeat that? In the heart space of awakening, in the authentic, just feel okay, humble, natural, down to earth, nothing fancy, in the heart space of awakening. There's a hug, there's a fist bump, and there's a smile, and that's it. We don't need to talk about philosophical nuances. You can let that go. You can drop that. We don't need to intellectualize. We don't need to philosophize. We don't need to be smart. That's a protective mechanism that you are using to prevent fear. Your intellect is beautiful. It is. Your philosophical, insightful intellect is beautiful, and it's time to let it go. Time to drop it. And you know that that is the truth. So, here we are. If you've stuck with me this far, my non-dual friend. In this space, I now have an affinity for you and a big hug, fist bump, and smile for you. It is here It is in the depth of the body, in the flawed, humble body, that we find an opening into the infinite, spacious, loving, kind, smart, intelligent, hip, down to earth. Self. It's where you discover you, where you find all of yourself.